Russo'sBrand.com, where the pros are the pros. Lions, Tigers, Bears, and head. There was late breaking news late last night, Al. Late breaking news.
I had heard the news before it broke.
Oh, good. Well, you give it to us. Go ahead. You bring it to the table.
I had heard, due to the ridiculousness that I witnessed yesterday on social media. What a shock! Again, and I'm going to bring something up that my good friend Bill DeMott had posed to Bully Ray on social media too. And
is this recently?
Oh yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was literally like I might have been. I'm not good, relationship time wise. Could have been the day before. Could have literally just been the day before. I'm not sure, but I saw it and I was like, you know what? I think he's right. I think Bill DeMott is right. I watched yesterday, and I even had to reach out. I was like, "Is this real?" Like, doesn't seem it. It kind of does, but doesn't. From what I could surmise from the interchange, the exchange.
Yeah, cut out all the surmise stuff and everything, because a lot of times, like I'll go on other shows and said, Al Snow's sources said. So cut out all the stuff where cut all that out. Cut all that out. Go ahead.
You guys
Al.
are my source, for Christ's sake.
What did you surmise, Al? Go ahead. Well,
there was an interchange between Andrade and Sammy Guevara that started very heated, and then as it was back and forth, I find out that Andrade said something about the fact that Guevara had complained in the locker room about Andrade, who had worked with him at some point, about hitting him too hard.
Right.
And then Andrade confronted him. Guevara, of course, said there was no issue or problem. And then Guevara took to social media to call out Andrade. And then Andrade called him back out, and they went back and forth. And Andrade basically told him, I'm going to show up at TV and I'm going to, whip your ass. And apparently last night, prior to TV, that was exactly what took place. He walked in the building, from what I was told, and confronted Guevara and proceeded to whip his ass. Andrade did bring up the point that, and that has always been the rule, even back in the day, so that we all understand, okay, this precept, this concept, that, the real art, physical art of professional wrestling is to make it appear and feel real to the audience, not to your opponent. Mm-hmm. And when talent used to perform 7 nights a week, let me tell you something. They were all incredibly tough, hard, grizzled, grown men. I cannot emphasize that enough. If you don't think Bruiser Brody, Stan Hansen, Dick Murdoch, Dusty Rhodes, I can go on down the list of guys, that were just tough men. One of the things you did never do is when you threw a punch, you grabbed a hold, you never made that opponent feel it. Because the last thing a guy ever wanted to do was to be hit tonight, knowing that tomorrow night he's going to get in the car, drive to another town, and get hit by you again. And then get another car, drive to another town, get hit by you again. Every single night. That would get real old real fast. And that was always out of respect, you didn't do it. Now, there were some guys like a Johnny Valentine or some other guys that liked to work tight. They would throw hard in safe places. Key word is hard in safe places. And the rule was, if you work with me like that, I'll work with you like that.
Right.
I'll give it back to you, and you took care of it in the ring. And if it couldn't get it arranged in the ring, you would then go again. Can't emphasize this enough. You'd pull them aside, not in front of anybody, not even in the locker room. And you'd say, hey, look, can you lighten up out there, man? You're killing me. We got to make a living together.
But also in the ring during the action, the message is, if a guy is stiff with you,
lay one back in.
You're stiff back to him to let him know.
Work with them the way they work with you. And if you don't like it, you go lighten up.
Right,
if the guy doesn't, well, now you just give it back to him the same way they gave it to you.
And they usually get the message, right?
Usually, yes.
Yeah.
There are some that like to work that way.
Yeah.
Some like to feel it, and you you work accordingly.
Yeah.
Okay. And the issue was that the complaints were done in the locker room to the boys by Guevara. And then Andrade came back and directly confronted him. He said there was no problem. And then apparently there was. So that's how it got. But again, we have created in AEW this environment, thanks to these media scrums. And I hate to say it, that lack of we've talked about this and discussed it, the lack of leadership, that now we feel that as a locker room, we can take to social media and we can expose our problems to the world. And Bill DeMott posed to Bully Ray, he was like, is there, today's age, is there anything such as what we used to call the boys? The locker room was the boys. It was a group that took it. Again, you could fight and punch your brother like cats and dogs, but once you left the house, if anyone came after your brother, it was both of you against them.
Yeah.
And that, as weird and as dysfunctional as it is professional wrestling. And we will literally stab each other in the back, cut each other's throats. We'll punch and kick each other, pull each other's hair for a shoot. And the minute we walk in a bar, nobody better mess with the other guy. I mean, it's insane because we were the boys. You had to earn your part to be in the boys. And Bill DeMott proposed that, is there such a thing as that anymore? Or is it a group of individuals who are solely concerned with themselves and just simply getting their own brand over? And I believe that's become the case because, and I've stated this before, in the past, one motivation was make a living, make money. All I care about is how many people are in the building and how much of a factor I was to see it. Well, in order to do that, I can't make money alone. That's why I shake everybody's hand, because I need everybody and everybody needs me. So it's a group effort, even though dichotomously wise, it's also an individual one at the same time. Well, I know this, and as a group, we live together, we die together, we eat together, or we starve together. That's why we're the boys. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? We're together. We're the locker room. We're not individuals. But now we each now have a guaranteed contract. Whether we work, we don't work, we're going to make money. Are we going to make as much money? But we're still going to make more money than we've ever made in our entire life.
Right.
So much so that we feel secure and we feel comfortable and we're not starving. Okay? So now that motivation now becomes about me, which it always is anyways, but there's always that me with the rules, the intrinsic rules of it takes us to help me. And me gets benefited by helping us. That's gone away in that locker room. And now it's every man for himself. And that's not a good thing. It really isn't. And you have to have, because this has never occurred, to my knowledge, not to this degree, in WWE. Yeah. And why? Because there's a sense of leadership, there's a sense of a vision, and there's a sense of standards and accountability to the locker room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to the company, to the locker room. And there was always that sense of the responsibility to the locker room that has kept this business together. Yeah. And I think that has gone away. I'm not criticizing what happened last night between Andrade and Sammy Guevara on Wednesday night. I'm not criticizing that. That stuff happens all the time. What I'm criticizing is that what led to it, what exacerbated it, was this interchange in a public forum that should never have taken place. And this is happening more and more and more on a greater level because it's not about the locker room anymore. It's about the individual who cares more about themselves than they do about the locker room as a whole.